plays and such. So anyway, without further ado, I'm going to introduce them, and they're going to play, and she wouldn't tell me what song, so it's going to be a surprise.
Thank you. Well, this first song you guys will probably all remember. It's by a group called the Moody Blues, Nights in White Satin. White satin, never reaching the end. Letters I've written, never meaning to send. Beauty I've always missed with these eyes before. Just what the truth is, I can't say it. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed that. Okay. You don't usually hear Moody Blues on an acoustic 12th string. It's such a good help here. Okay, this next one is one of my favorite songwriters. Oh, one of my favorite songwriters is my next song. I'm not singing, I'm very loud when I sing. Okay, it's a song called Angel from Montgomery. And I first heard this song when I saw the movie Courage Under Fire. It was featured in that song, and it had to do with Meg Ryan's dying or something. And I listened to it, and I said, I gotta learn that song, so I've been singing it ever since. Here we go. trees were thunder, and lightning was desire. This old house would have burned down a long time ago. Maybe an angel that lies from the glory, yeah. Maybe a poster of an old rodeo. Just give me one thing that I can hold on to believe in this living is just a hard way to go. When I was a young girl, when I had me a cowboy, he wasn't much to look at, just a pretty random fair. That was a long time, and no matter how I tried, the years just flew by like a broken down man. Make me an angel that flies from the glory there. Make me a poster of an old rodeo. Just give me one thing that I can hold on to believe in this living is just a hard way to go. There's fire in the kitchen, I can hear all the buzzing, and I ain't done nothing since I woke up today. And how can a person go to work in the morning and come home in the evening and have nothing to say? Maybe an angel flies from the glory, yeah. Make me a poster of an old rodeo. Just give me one thing that I can hold on to believe in this living is just a hard way to go. To believe in this living is just a hard way to go. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you to the Island Writers for asking us to play. Thank you very much.
Let's have another hand for them, okay? Way to go. Wow. And look at all their support over here. All jammers, right? Yep, see?
And spouses. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was such a nice interlude. Our next reader, we have 4 more before our featured reader comes up. Our next reader is Lynn Hummel. She is a native South Carolinian who moved to, woo! You don't see many of those. Who moved to Hilton Head in 1984. She has been involved in local media efforts since her first job here as a typographer and recently retired as editor of the Bluffton Sun and the Hilton Head Sun for the past 14 years. Woo! For fun, she enjoys local arts and cultural events, especially theater, and serves on the board of New Seagrass Stage Company, which is renovating Coligny Theater for stage performances. Lynn is enjoying a more leisurely lifestyle, I bet, with fewer deadlines and more fun. Still on her list of things to do in retirement is write that book. Lynn?
Thank you. That was a very nice introduction, even if I did write it myself. So when I first joined the Island Writers Network, they asked us, what kind of writing do you do? We went around the table and said, what kind of writing do you do? And I first said, well, I'm a journalist, but I also like to write for fun, but usually my stories are nonfiction, so, for magazines and whatnot. But I've recently decided I think I actually might be more of an essayist, because I just tend to write about me a lot, just can't publish it anywhere. So that's what this is. This is more of an essay than anything. And this really happened. This really happened. December 12th, 2023. The weirdest thing happened this morning. I sat down with my coffee and picked up my phone, as I usually do, to check for any emails and messages that might have been delivered since midnight. I'm keen to not miss a single thing. I pulled out the charger connector and the phone's screen remained black. Absolutely black. No sign of life. The phone couldn't possibly be dead. It had been charging all night. It was at 79% when I plugged in the charger last night around 12:30. I checked to make sure the charger was plugged in. Yes, it was. Yet there was no activity. I don't know why, but I randomly pushed all the buttons on the side. I jiggled the dark phone back and forth as if to revive it with motion. It didn't work. I was at once perplexed and then almost panicky. Not one prone to anxiety, suddenly I was quite anxious. What had happened? What was happening? I must admit I had a brief wild thought that my phone had been hacked and rendered useless by the bad guys. They won't find anything useful, I thought. It's not like I'm storing CIA secrets or that I have any VIP contacts. And then I realized my day would not be normal. I wasn't concerned about social media. I can take it or leave it, except that I can't leave it. But could I truly make it through a day without texting? Maybe I should call my husband to let him know. No, silly, the phone is dead. It won't work in any capacity. The realization that I couldn't call or text my husband to let him know I'd be out of touch confused me, because my next immediate thought was to text our son, who would be at the farmer's market with his dad, to let him know. But no, that wouldn't work either. Nor could I alert our son that I wouldn't be able to take credit card payments at his store that I was tending today. My phone is the only way I can connect to the payment system. Befuddled, I went to my desktop computer, which fired up right away, thank goodness, and sent my husband an email to tell him these things. But I don't know if he got it because I had to leave for work. The store is inside a coffee shop. Once I arrived, I asked one of the baristas to please try to charge my phone, thinking perhaps my charger at home was faulty. Nothing. I then asked, for some reason, if she might have an idea why it would be dead if I charged it all night. No, she said, but would you like a latte? My phone was out of commission. I sat with that thought for a moment. As I took the latte, I realized that I would be off the grid for hours. I would be out of touch with the world beyond the coffee shop. It was an eerie feeling. No texts, no calls in or out, no solitaire on the tiny screen, no emails. I think if I were still in the workforce, I would have been alarmed and consumed with foreboding. And the reality hit me. I'll be out of touch with the world. What an unusual thing, and yet so beautiful. I settled into an easy chair, sipped my latte, and opened the book that I had brought to read, if I had time. It was lovely. After work, I flew down the highway to the AT&T store. The young man there asked how he could help me. I must have looked a fright as I stood dumbfounded and then blubbered, "My phone won't work and I don't know why." He walked over, gently took my phone, and performed some quick magic, click, click, on the side buttons. and a screen came to life. I was astonished. He was a miracle worker. I believe I saw transcendent light envelop his body. I couldn't thank him enough, but I also had to know what the problem had been. It happens, he said. I see it at least once a week. The phone randomly turns itself off occasionally. We don't really know why. I took my phone, its screen glowing now, and went to my car. I sat there for a few moments rehashing the day's events and my initial alarm that something bad had happened. Why indeed would this tiny computer that we all have at arm's length all day, every day, just shut itself off? I wonder, what if, like humans, the phone gets overloaded with the multitude of tasks it must perform consistently and continually? It requires energy to do all of the things, and occasionally its circuits just run out of juice. It needs a chance to simply stop for a bit and just be out of touch with the world.
Thank you, Lynn. That was very apropos. Our next reader is going to be Ron Thompson. He is a member of IWN, and he's been so for several years. He's been a faithful participant in Open Mic, reading such poetry as How I Pass New Math. He says his lovely wife, Sherry, has been hanging in there for 56 years.
Time flies when you're having fun, because she just told me it was 57. So anyway, can everybody hear me? A little closer, okay. Can everybody hear me? Yeah, okay. All right. This is called Joy of Leaf Herding. I am but a simple leaf herder, living on an island that enjoys falling leaves so much. We schedule them twice a year just for fun. More than 30 years ago, behind towering mountains and breathtaking hills, when I arrived at this barrier island, my real estate agent called it subtropic. I discovered gardening and landscaping thrills, leaf blowing, or as I call them, leaf herding. No guilt I feel as I shoot them without appeal. Achieving naturalized low country folk status, I've reached new heights, so to speak. I'm proud to say I feel a little like Dirty Harry, making my day, locking and loading a serious gift for my submariner son. I herd leaves till the blowing is done. I'm armed with the Ego rechargeable, the most powerful handheld blower known to mankind. Its charge is good for 30 minutes or more, packing a paint-peeling turbo, but who's keeping score? Blasting leaves, straw and twigs to their rightful place, marching through the yard with a military pace. I control the most powerful handheld leaf blowing mankind has ever known. Am I proud? You betcha. Plus, I'm very, very happy. Yahoo! Thank you very much. Now I have a little, I'm sorry I didn't get the guitar people up here, but I have just a very small little bluesy thing. It's called the Barrier Island Blues. Pardon my singing. Oh, I come from Ohio with an atlas on my knees, driving a salty minivan to escape the winter freeze. On Barrier Island, the sand and sun are free. no cares or worries till the hurricanes are back. Cause I come from Ohio with my atlas on my knee. Now come on, everybody do a verse with me. I come from Ohio with my atlas on my knee. Yahoo! All right, and now we have to do a PSA, a plant-saving announcement. And this is by the Save the Succulents Foundation. Da, 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 da. Today, heritage succulents are in great peril and even implied danger. Why are these once healthy succulents on the brink of extinction? Overwatering. Yes, I said overwatering. Even nationally known celebrities like Marty Stewardess are sounding the alarm. Stop overwatering succulents. For just a few dollars a day, you can keep succulents alive. So call now with your credit card numbers, effective dates, and of course, your security code. Nigerian princesses are standing up with the cacti at 1-800-STOP-H2O. Remember, only you can prevent overwatering.
Well, I don't even know what to say, Ron. You are quite a character, and thank you for that, for making our evening that much more enjoyable. The next up is this wonderful young man who has, right here in the hat, yes, and he has recently joined IWN, but he is a freelance SEO content writer by day, which is a fancy way of saying I write blog posts for a living. He currently resides in Hilton Head, although home is really wherever he puts his suitcase. He can often be seen chugging rum punches on a cruise ship in the Barbados or hiking up a volcano in Costa Rica. Travis Tabor.
Hello everyone, my name is Travis and it's been 3 years since my last drink. Just kidding, it's really been more like 30 minutes. Too long. Alright, any fans of The Witcher in the house? Netflix series? No? Ask your kids, they'll tell about it later. This is a poem based off one of my favorite games of all time. It's called My Deal with Contra Dem. Like this? No? Right here? What about now? All right. I wandered the Velen road one day, poor, alone, and in dismay, and who perchance should come my way on that day most gray and grim? A merchant of mirrors with a jutted chin, covered with pockets with glass within, clean-shaven head and a wily grin, the ineffable Gonzalo Dim. Here you, friend, I'm happy to say, it so happens to be your lucky day. Whatever you want, whatever you fancy, just wish away, just ask away for your every wish and whim. Whatever you want and whatever you need, I care to every desire and creed. Just ask away and I'll do the deed, courtesy of Gonzalo Dim. But there's only one catch, it's not for free, for once your wishes count to 3, you're done, and then expect to be owed me a wee little favor. But never mind that, I think you'll find you needn't worry your little mind. So wish away if you'd be so kind, and we'll worry about it later. So I sat for a moment and thought about things. Should I be a god among men or a king among kings? Wish for armies or the love of queens, be immortal, immune to death. And as I parted my heart's desire, my cravings, words to which I aspired. Finally a flash came to me inspired, and I said as I took a breath. All my life I've lived on the streets, had rocks for pillows and burlap sheets, had canned soup for dinner and rotten meats and clothes that made me itch. And so I long for wealth profound, to buy all the things that can be found, for guardian thorns and to marry in crowds. I wish that I were rich. With a flick of his wrist and a clap of his hand, I was the wealthiest man in all the land, till I realized it was not quite what I planned and crumbled down into tears. Buck up, chum, don't be in such a state. These paper bonds will be worth the wait, just as long as you're willing to get your payments late by 150 years. Now don't give in to your despair. You've got 2 more wishes, as you're aware. Just choose your words with a little more care. You've got two more before you're done. So I puzzled and pictured and thought and pondered some more. What if I always wanted before? Then a desire came from within my core, and I started as I begun. I never have luck with the fairest sex, because I have great psyche balls and a flabby chest. Can't seem to get it up, and that makes me depressed. I have a balding head and scabies. So buxom females, that's my request. But tight firm buttocks and supple breasts, with long thin legs and slender chests. I wish for women, girls, and ladies. And with the twirl of his hand, the wink of his eye, summon luscious vixens and succubi, and maidens fair fall from the sky, skilled in all the carnal pleasures, until they turn into monstrous hags and ghouls, raised with twisted claws, dripping with troll, who clamped down on my family jewels and put a twisted fork in measure. Oh, dim child me as he began. You never specified human, you silly man. Now try again if you may again. You got one more before you're done. So I searched the depths of my innermost soul, of my aspirations, desires, and goals. What would finally make me whole? So I started as I begun. I'm always the butt of people's jeers, their jibes, their jests, their jaunts, their sneers. I'm the lowliest of all my peers. I've had all that I can stand. And so I wish for prodigious fame, for accolades and high acclaim, for poets and bards to sing my name, to be known throughout the land. And with a snap of his finger and a stomp of his shoe, I had more recognition than I ever knew. My wanted posters everywhere in view. I was criminal number one. The guardsmen chased me with their hounds, kicked me in the ribs as I fell to the ground, and screamed at me with threatening sounds, and so my wish was done. Then Devil showed him, fixed me with a stare, a menacing smile, a malicious glare, and a bone-piercing chill went through the air, and I knew that it was time. My men to the deal I've now bestowed did a half-decent job of it, I'll be blowed. I believe it's time you pay what I owe, you pay what I'm owed, because now your soul is mine. The wind sped into a blustery gale. The sky blackened and peeled with thunder and hail. I knew it was coming. I let out a wail, and as the road turned upside down, I heard jitters and curses and whimsers and crackles. The air was sparkled with an ominous cackle. I was bound with straps and chains and shackles and pulled beneath the ground. And I plummeted screaming into hell to be ravaged by demons and devils as well, seared by fire and witches' spells, fall forever to the abyss. I didn't see how I'd done any harm. Only just wanted comfort, respect, and feminine charm. I pulled out my hair and I tore my arms. How could it have led to this? Oh, dim-sighted, and now I've served. If you ask me, you got what you deserved. You're the only one your wishes served, with riches, lust, and sin. It's really such a crying shame that self-service has been your only aim. You've really only yourself to blame for the position that you're in. Thank you.
Okay, we need to give Travis another hand because he had that memorized, okay? Woo! Travis, is this your second reading in Open Mic?
First here.
First here, okay. Wow, okay. Woo. Very nice. Good job. Okay, and our last reader before our feature reader is Skinner Matthews. He is currently working on having his first book of poetry published. The title of the book will be Anno Domini, or the Year of Our Lord. Okay. He is reading the first poem of this book entitled Audubon, and recently received the honor of having this poem published in Autumn Sky Poetry. So we get to listen to this tonight, and it's an honor. Thank you.
This is actually my second time reading as well, and I am really looking forward to hearing Elizabeth Robin read. This poem was published yesterday on Autumn Sky Poetry. The poem is Audubon Society, and it is the first poem in my book. It opens the book, and the inscription says, "For my fellow poets, let us begin this continuous journey. Ascending mountains below the alders, songs sow symphonies of light, burning staccato through the leafings. Mockingbirds and starlings squawk, a language they and God understand. Peregrines at heights above, where even the rains can begin. Hear the thrum and fall of these chivalrous queens and kings. Try to believe they are waiting for you and the gifts you bring. You may want to linger, but this road goes on to Seville in Andalusia, the steppes of Spain, rich with little bustard matadors running the grasslands of Navarre. The jacarandas and wisteria loosen in the sun. In Barcelona, you might see a Cooter's rainbow amongst the winged angels of La Sagrada Familia, spires rising towards heaven, parabolas without end, the coast within grasp. Hemingway in the library of what does not exist, hearing turns in an a cappella he would never have heard without being here where the sea ends and begins. Thank you.
That concludes the readers, and now we get to our feature reader. Woo! And this is Elizabeth Robin. She's a retired teacher and award-winning poet, has 3 finishing line press books. To My Dreamcatcher, 2022, Where Green Meets Blue, 2018, and Silk Purses and Lemonade, 2017. She partnered with the Office of Cultural Affairs to establish the Hilton Head Poetry Trail, a 26-station route of local poets. A Piccolo Spoleto Sundown Poet 2023, she won the 2021 Carrie McRae Nichols Fellowship, was an open mic MC for 8 years, woo, okay, and creates literary programs on Hilton Head Island. Recent work appears in Poetry Society South Carolina Yearbook, Catfish Stew, Ukweli, Drunk Monkey, and others. More can be found at elizabethrobin.com. I suggest you go to her site. It's beautiful what this woman has accomplished, and you would enjoy reading more about her. Elizabeth. Robin.
How's that? All right. I completely changed what I was going to read tonight, this morning. Yeah, that's what I do. First, I'd like to get a round of applause for Kai and Denise. I am so happy that they've taken over. And I think they've done a gorgeous job, and I know you'll find it very rewarding to do this. I certainly have. And thank you so much for having me and for supporting this for so many years when I was doing it. I could make a limp joke, Barry, but I won't. I was going to read from things that a lot of you have heard, and then I thought, I think I'll just read you some new material that is not published anywhere and is part of a new manuscript I'm putting together right now and about to start sending out, to collect rejections. Already got one yesterday. This collection is all poems centered on my life in South Carolina and the love of the Low Country, and sometimes the complications involved in calling a place home. I think a lot of you, because you know me, know I was a Navy brat as a kid. Then for a while I was a corporate wife. I've never really been able to call any place home. So it's a very strange concept for me. This first poem, I chose to read because it takes almost 10 minutes to read, and so normally in an open mic I can't. So no one's heard. I think you heard a couple pieces of this, but this poem is describing the journey that I think many of us go on to find a place. And I call it Dream Home. Free from roots, yet trapped in unknown territory. Hopeless, transient, a vagrant, hopping trains in search of a little wooden house full of low country heart. Home, come here, darling. 1. Jungles. She can't find her way in heat and more heat, epic humidity. Sweat trickles down her spine. Foliage, tall, green, thickens the path. Fearing snakes, she walks with care, spots bright frogs the size of quarters. Along the way, it rains, torrents, sheets. She's wet to the skin in seconds. Like always, she has no sense of where she is, nor where she should go. The canopy so thick, there's no sky. The soul of a place lies in broccoli-shaped treetops, inside a movie she can't understand, a vast jungle where there are loud, wild sounds, screeches, auks, birdsongs, monkey chatter. She senses movement, every bird, lizard, frog, fruit she sees is some neon color. She fears everything is poison. She hears water, heads toward it, hoping a stream or river offers a path out. This is where she always wakes up. She never finds that river, never starts out. On the edge of understanding, an odor, thickened, something between skunk musk and roses in bloom, compounds her fear. All this Kamya wants is a nice walk. 3, location. Kamyas brag about the weather like they invented subtropical climes on the way south, discovered anomalies of temperature, sunshine, downpour. They watch hurricane warnings like it's TV, shock and awe losing 100,000 trees, miss signs like snakes crossing the sound, birds moving inland, buy all the gas and evacuate slow. The invasive species like kudzu regrow, cover binyas and sleazy land deals and slam shut the plantation gates. 4, the landscape. I watch a plump raccoon scale the live oak under a misty moon. Nighttime cacophony rising up, the beat of wild warnings, full forests and marshes, a world of live things, all heart and hope. The moon, a bright drunken bowl, tilts askew like a hat jolted off a bar stool. Who feels, or a kamya, who feels like a binya. Vines of Confederate jasmine blossom first, scent of spring air smelling of rain, hanging suspenders. A fog lifts from the lagoon, gators slither in, turtles heap stack on log piles, and hinger wings spread, soft and heavy. The heat hangs, a damp cloak clinging. There are snakes. They remain hidden. 5, find your people. When a kamya acts like a binya, it's a sin, yeah? Roots should run deep, burrow into ancestors, belonging, earned working soil, aerating and fertilizing, planting and replanting, knowing what season to shoot down mistletoe, when to gather pecans, how it's pronounced, pecans, work and family, all of a place. The privilege in walking the same steps all your life, tracing footprints of parents and grandparents and great-grandparents, the depth and dimension in old framed sepia prints of large groups, all blood-related, reunions, chatting and eating old recipes and grudges and sweethearts. The stories more elaborate with each telling and more true. 6, in the air. What if I have no pictures, no names, no people, no place to point and say, there's where I was born, where my daddy and granddaddy's buried, where I belong. There's my school and my teacher and my preacher and the tree I climbed. Who am I without that? An air plant, like the Spanish moss, and resurrection fern attached to the live oak, those solid, deep-rooted old mothers, watchers of history, like them, live in harmony, rootless, root-free. I want to be an epiphyte, the kamya singing a binya chorus, no parasite sucking away, but a thriving addition who airs the songs of a low-country heart. 7, getting into the slow and easy. Fall into the quiet, the soft sounds of lapping water, distant bird whirrups, leaves kissing the breeze, the soundless stalk of wood stork, chartreuse lizard. Still your mind. Look, listen, dive underneath, suspend the moment. Go slow to the show of the snow that isn't. Ooze as the booze makes you schmooze. It doesn't. Ease in the breeze. Pollen. Sneeze. You shouldn't. Ready, set, go. Binya slow. 8. The crossing. Coming over the last bridge. Home. Home. That sensation crossing the over, soft moisture seeping into skin, windy heat fingering hair, Spartina stretching across horizons, hope golden pink as the daily light show closes. Breathe in a spectrum of wild color on solid clouds. Where the body nourishes and thrives, where the mind percolates and lives, where the heart finds purpose and poise, where the spirit meets dreamscapes, inside noise, where the kamya feels like a binya. Home is that feeling. Everyone in my critique group is here right now, and they all worked that poem for me, and I don't know, they don't know what I did with it, so I'm going to hear it from them. Yeah. Last piece, just to give you a little flavor of other things that are in this manuscript I'm shopping. I'm really trying to learn to be a proper poet. I've called myself a working poet since 2017 when I got that first book. And I'm really not working at it all that well, so I'm trying to learn forms now. This manuscript, I play with a lot of different forms. And also do flirt with some political statements. As many of you know, I've spent a good part of the last year and a half battling the 97 books being banned in Beaufort County libraries. I went to more school board meetings than I ever wanted to. I thought once I was done teaching, I was done with that, you know what. But I wasn't, and unfortunately, our state legislature in South Carolina has picked up that ball, and they're pushing through legislation that looks like it might pass to allow those book bans to happen without individual counties being able to weigh in. They've changed the definition of pornography and all kinds of things, and pretty much everything that I ever taught as a high school English teacher could be banned. And that's not an exaggeration, but you can look it up and read it for yourself. They also are introducing legislation that will seriously muzzle teachers, that will allow non-educators, random citizens to object to something that happens in a classroom. And it's frightening. As a classroom teacher, I can't imagine being watched that carefully. I also can't imagine a politician questioning my expertise in American literature. It's upsetting. But anyway, one of the things that, and I've been doing this the last couple open mics. I blame Miho Kinnis because she claims she claims that I can write a sonnet, and then Alex Yukas upped it by challenging me to write something called a crown sonnet. I'm only going to read you the first one. There are 8 in this manuscript. Each one focuses on a particular person connected to South Carolina history. Because history is being attacked too, by the way. And of course, a lot of the history that has been added that is actually factual is just history that's been ignored. So this first poem is about a woman, because we've been ignored a lot in history. I don't know why. But each one comes with a footnote. I'd like you to read this one to you in case you have not heard of this person. She's pretty famous, but you know. In 1738, Eliza Lucas Pinckney assumed the management of her father's 3 plantations in South Carolina, while he served in military campaigns elsewhere. By the way, she did have 2 brothers, but Dad picked her. Not without cause. During her tenure, she earned a place in history with the first successful indigo dye production in the state. She shared her methods with other plantation owners, and soon indigo represented 1/3 of export income in the country. In 1989, took them a little while, she became the first woman inducted into the South Carolina Business Hall of Fame and received the same honor in 2008 to the South Carolina Hall of Fame. So, sonnet number 1 is for Eliza Pinckney. You go, girl. The cotton twists and frays, braiding hemp into rope when a 16-year-old takes on her father's hope. She managed his 3 plantations and 86 souls, first woman named in Business Hall of Fame polls. By age 22, she developed indigo production and shared her methods with others to earn that induction. This became the Charleston moneymaker they called blue gold after she learned Ivory Coast ways from those bought and sold. By most standards, she's a feminist dream. 2 famous sons, thriving business schemes, a daughter and widow in charge of her life, never the content needlepoint stitching wife. Then President Washington served as her pallbearer. Will how she produced that dye also stain the wearer? Thank you so much. I appreciate you asking me to be here.
Set up. I'll go there. I got a few. Okay. Robin just told me that she has a few books. She'll be over there in the corner. And if you'd like to, as Denise said, carry on this evening, when you get home, please make your way over and see if you'd like to purchase one. She's a wonderful poet. Let's give her another round of applause. This concludes our first 2024 Open Mic. And we are just so glad that you came. Please return. And as Denise said, it will be the 4th Wednesday now. I'm sorry, last Wednesday, because it could be 5 Wednesdays. Last Wednesday every month. And yeah, I know. And the next one will be February 28th. So we hope we see you, come back and enjoy. And meanwhile, all those writers out there, keep writing. Anybody here that wants to join IWN, please do so. This is a fabulous group. You'll be more than welcome. And for all of those of you out there that aren't writers,